Yours will really come my way. Hey, every day seems a little longer. Every way love's a little stronger. Somewhat say, do you ever long for true love from me? There you go, baby. Here am I. Will you left me so I could sit and cry? Well, golly gee, what have you done to me? Well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Love you like I do.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Cars and Us. My name is Dennis Tate, and today Cars and Us is up in Hartford, Connecticut at the Hartford Expo Center. And we're at the annual Frank Marratta Auto Show, an annual event held at the end of January every year. This is about the 47th year. Started way back in the Hartford Civic Center with Frank Marratta Sr. Those of you old-time drag racers might recognize the name. Frank owned Connecticut Dragway. He has since passed on, and Frank Jr. has taken over, and he's continuing to run the show as well. Great show up here. It's one of the indoor shows that we really look forward to doing every year. We've been doing it for the last 10 years or so, and they have a variety of cars up here. You get everything from the street rods to the race cars, custom cars. There's some Barris cars up here today. Real nice array of cars. We're going to have a real nice show, at least one show, hopefully two. Right behind me, hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to the owner later, is a 1934 Ford sedan, and real nice car. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him, and you viewers will get a better look at it. But right now we're going to take a walk and talk to some of the owners of these cars and show you some of the nice cars at this show. So stick with us for the next 30 minutes. As I said earlier on in my intro, Marratta's Auto Show, they bring out the finest cars in the tri-state area, from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, even from Massachusetts and Rhode Island. You never know what you're going to find up here, but you know what's interesting? First couple I find are longtime friends of mine from Westchester County, New York, Rosemary and Danny Frioli. Rosemary is to my right and Danny to my left. They have their beautiful cars. Rosemary has a 1937 Ford custom street rod. We'll go into it, but just to give you an introduction, Danny just purchased this 1940 Willys, one of only two. It's called a Swoopster, but it's a convertible, but it's got a Hemi motor in it, and it's a convertible, and it's just a super car. So Dan, I want to welcome you to the show again. We've had you on before.
You again. I don't know how you find
it's
it.
always
Nice
a pleasure, you know. And wow, you know, I spotted the cars and I said, wow, we got to find Danny and Ro.
Yeah,
So,
you did. I don't know how you do it, but
well, you know what? You stand out. I mean, you know,
okay.
not only the car, but yourself. You're a real class guy, both of you.
Thank you.
But you just purchased this car recently.
Yeah, I purchased it a few months ago, added to the car collection. It is a 40 Willys Swoopster. It's the #1 Swoopster ever built by Dennis Taylor. It has a 528 Hemi, 610 horsepower, totally chromed out by Street and Performance. It's a car that I've been looking for and tracing, and finally I was able to purchase it, and we're enjoying it, as you can see.
Now, you've been going to a number of shows already?
We've been down to Baltimore at an indoor show in Baltimore, Wheels of Time, and now this indoor show. We're trying to get through the winter, waiting for the good weather so I can really enjoy this Swoopster outdoors where it belongs.
Sure.
And in the meantime, Ro is standing behind her 37 Ford, which she'll never part from. And of course, we're having the pleasure of doing shows together.
Yeah, it's great. You make a great team, and Ro, we gotta give you a chance to talk about this Black Beauty.
It's my 1937 Ford Cabriolet built by John Ford in Sarasota, Florida. And I own it now 2 years, and I love it, never part with it. It's got an LS1 engine in it. It is street worthy, it's all legal, and I love driving it locally.
And you look great in it too. And you fit nice in there. You notice I noticed the top is chopped quite a bit, but when you get in there, it fits you really, really nice, like it was almost made for you.
It's my size.
It is, definitely.
Yes, it is. And
it's got to be a...
She can show you that by reaching onto the roof and maybe wax it one time.
Oh, that's my next question. Who's cleaning the cars?
My detailer. I take them with me to the shows.
You'll get stuck with both cars?
Both of them, but I'm going to tell you, after this show, she's going to be trained.
She's on her own, right?
She's going to be on her own.
That's great. These cars are great. Now, tell me, how did you get... Did you get an invitation up here to Frank Marratta show?
We were asked to send a picture. It was by invitation only of the cars, and they accepted us immediately.
Oh, sure.
And it's a wonderful show. We've never been here, and we're meeting the nicest people.
Yeah, it's a great group up here. It takes us away from the lower Westchester groups that where there's so much politics going on, and they're not running the cruises right, and they're doing a disservice to everybody. Danny, it gives you a chance to get up and to see really what a good show is like.
Well, this is a great show. Baltimore was a great show, and I must tell you, Rowan, I have already been invited. They're going to have 250 cars at Mohegan Sun, 4th of July weekend.
I heard,
and
yes.
They invited Ro's car and my car to go into the grand ballroom where there will be only 50 cars.
Right.
And it's supposed to be a great indoor show as well.
Yeah.
So this show is
now, when is that? July 4th?
It's just prior July 4th. I think it's June 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Right.
So being invited with only 50 cars to the Grand Ballroom.
Well, that's a testament.
Oh, yeah. And by that time, Ro will know how to wax that car. That's for sure.
So you guys now are traveling around quite a bit.
Yeah, we're having fun. We're joining the car crowd. We're really enjoying our cars.
The viewers out there don't know. We're friends, and we know your family and everything. Where are the grandkids, the kids and the grandkids?
Oh,
they'll be up here in a little while. They're going to come up and see. But we couldn't get them in here with their three customs. It might happen in the Mohegan Sun. I'm going to talk to them.
Oh yeah, sure, talk to
Sure.
them. You know what? I'm sorry. I know Frank Marratta Jr. I knew his father. I raced the Connecticut Dragway. His father owned Connecticut Dragway. And had I realized that you were never up here, I would have made it a point to get you guys up here.
I wish you would introduce us. They were nice enough to come to us.
Later on, I will introduce you to Frank.
Great.
But this is really a fantastic show. I look forward to covering this show every year. And this is one of my favorites.
It's nice seeing you up here.
I try to get all over.
If I think about future shows, I'm going to call you up and tell us who should we see. But in a way, it's nice. We're invited without any contacts, and we always find new friends. And car people are still the friendliest people in the hobby, and that's why we enjoy it. Totally.
Oh, hey, listen. You know what? It's fun. I look forward to the season. You know, when the weather gets warm and we're out, you know, in the good weather again. Go to John Portnova's show, you know, and in Greenwich, yeah. So it should be for a good season. But you know what? It really truly was. I'm so pleased to see you up here and to see your cars in here because you have some stable of cars. Hopefully we'll get to some other shows and see the other cars that you've got.
Absolutely.
You know, Dan,
looking
and it's always a pleasure. So you know what, enjoy the show and have fun. And like I said, it's always a pleasure to see you guys.
You too, Dennis.
When Frank Marratta Sr. started this show back in the Hartford EXPO, Hartford Civic Center, excuse me, back in 1959, it was for rods and customs and street rods. And what we've got here today is a friend of mine, Wayne Iannone, happened to be from Westchester. Again, I didn't know he was up here, so this is not this is not premeditated here. But he's got this beautiful 51 Merc, and it's just a real custom, and it's a real throwback combination of Barris and Ballin, and a number of people have really been into this car. But Wayne owns the car now, and I want to introduce Wayne and welcome you to Cars and Us. And it's a pleasure seeing you up here. And again, as we talked off camera, just Saturday, your name came up. Jimmy Levecki and myself, we talked about it. I had no idea. He never mentioned anything about you bringing a car to a car show. You know, he knows that I know Frank up here, and I come up here and I do the show every year. But he spoke about this car in particular. It's a four-door, which kind of makes it a little bit more unique. But I guess really, so the viewers get an opportunity to find out what the hell we're talking about here, I'll let you describe what you have.
Well, it's a 1951. It started out as a 1951 four-door Mercury. The top was cut. The doors were shaved and narrowed in the back to made suicide. It's a removable Carson top.
Right, Carson top.
Yes. The top does come off. Actually, the suspension, the motor, the transmission, the rear end are original, but there's many, many, many body modifications. Everything's French molded to 53 Corvette floating grill. The seams in the back and the quarters and the doors were molded and put back together. There's probably over 240 different body modifications in the car. The car was designed by George Barris, designed it. Joe Balin built the car, and a gentleman by the name of Emmanuel Arteschi out of Auburn, California, did the interior. The car was a West Coast car, and then it wound up in Texas, and I actually bought the car out of Amarillo.
How long have you had it, Wayne?
I have the car about 4 or 5 years now.
Now, I don't want to digress too much from this car, but just so the viewers know, you have quite a stable of cars. Tell us what you got.
I have several. I have a lot of original stuff. I have a 56 T-Bird that was a body off. I have a 1933 Series 90 Club Sedan Buick that's all original. And then I go on to a multitude of hot rods. I have 31 Ford Woody with a blower in it. I got a 31 all-steel 5-window coupe.
And the Corvettes?
There's 367s. I have a 427, 435 radio delete, tank sticker car. That's a coupe, and I have a convertible that I do not have the tank sticker on, but that's a 427 390 that I just put a tri-power setup on. And then I have a 67 327 350. That is a tank sticker car. It's got all the options: power windows, power steering, power brakes, tilt, headrests. You know, headrests in the car. You know, so it's I have a pretty interesting arrangement.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, we did digress a little bit from this car, so we're going to get back to this car and let the viewers see the interior, especially this. And you spoke about the person that did the interior. This interior is really super nice. What is this, Naugahyde?
Yeah, this is Naugahyde, and the guy that did it has won every big major award on the West Coast. He's passed on now, and this was actually one of the last cars that he did. But he is pretty much world-renowned, a gentleman by the name of Emmanuel Arteschi. And you can see for yourself if you'd like.
The viewers are going to get a chance to see it as we speak, because I'm going to videotape it, and they're going to get a chance to see it. It's really gorgeous. This is a real throwback, Wayne, to the old days, to the 50s and early 60s, you know, of when custom cars were custom cars. The louvered hood, you know, all the little niceties that are done to this car. Again, Jimmy Levecki did tell me about the car, but I had no idea it was this pretty. You know, when somebody tells you something about a car, you don't really appreciate it until you see it.
You got to, yeah, you got to see it. It is unique, and that's actually why I wound up with it. I actually had just bought another 51, and I saw this about 2-3 weeks later, and I saw it in the magazine, and by the time I hung up with the guy on the phone, I was wire transferring money.
That's it, huh?
You know, I bought it basically sight unseen, just from the pictures, but just from talking to the guy that had the car, it just sounded too interesting not to.
Well, did you know about the history of the car? I mean, once you heard Barris's name, I'm sure that must have triggered.
Everybody says, you know, Barris, this, that, and the other thing, and Joe Balin, but Joe Balin was the originator of the candy apple paint back in 1957.
Right.
That's why if you go to his logo, it's an apple.
Right.
You know, once I did hear about it and see it, you know, it's a Carson top. It was a 4-door. It's different. It's just a different piece. It's a little unique. You don't see very many of them, if you see any at all.
That's true. Now, I understand that you've teamed up with Danny and Ro Fraioli.
Yes, I have. They're very
Great
very
people.
Good people. Absolutely wonderful people.
So you guys are touring around together?
Yeah, we've been doing, trying to bring the cars, bring the cars together. I try to make sure we stick them all in a trailer, either one big trailer or some smaller ones, and we just go from show to show, and they're just wonderful people. There's another couple, Carol and Bob Nasty, that have that. He just finished that rear engine pickup, that 40 Ford, the rear engine pickup. He's got several interesting pieces himself.
Good. You know what? You're a credit, like Danny and Ro. You're a credit to the hobby, to the sport. You got some great cars. You're all class people, and I don't say that because, you know, we are somewhat friends. It's the truth of the matter. This is why I really enjoy doing the show that I do, and giving the people the opportunity to see these cars that they don't normally get a chance to see, because you're not going to see too many of these cars out, you know, at the local cruises or the local shows. So, you know, it's really nice. I'm just thrilled to see you guys up here, really. And it was just so coincidental, having spoken about you on Saturday, you know, last week, to find you up here today. So it's been great. I'm glad I got you on camera. I know you want to get back to waxing up the car a little bit. You know, you're constantly wiping it. I mean, you know, it looks great.
Trying to get a little exercise.
You're trying to get some exercise, right?
Trying to get some exercise out of the deal, too.
Wayne, it's a pleasure.
It's a
All
pleasure.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate
Okay.
it.
And
anything you need from me.
And listen, we're gonna have fun, and I'll get you a DVD, and you'll see how this comes out at the end.
That'd be wonderful.
All right. One of the most unique and probably one of the rarest cars in the show today is a 1936 Auburn. It's all original stock. It's just a gorgeous car. I remember these cars from my father talking about them. Not that I'm old enough to remember them, of course, but at least I remember them from what my father used to tell me about them. I have the owner, Herb Casso, and I want to welcome you to Cars and Us.
How you doing?
And I was looking for you earlier because I spotted the car, and I said, boy, I hope during the course of the day I get a chance to meet the owner, because this car is just gorgeous. Like I said, my father used to talk about these cars. In his opinion, it was the finest car out there.
Yeah, these were one of the most, well, it was a rich person's car back in the 30s. This car here sold for around $2,600 brand new, which you could buy a Ford for about $8,000.
Right.
So, you know, it was a rich man's car back in the 30s. And it's a very rare car. This is the last of 13 bodies they made in 1936.
Is that right?
Before the company, they didn't go bankrupt. They got out before they did.
Right.
And they continued the Cord and the Duesenberg for one more year.
Right.
And then they, you know, got out of that.
And they all fell by the wayside.
Yeah. And because they were all gas guzzlers back then, and nobody seemed to want them. But you know, in the 40s, everybody.
That was the Depression era.
Yeah.
And so, you know, gas was, even though it was about 10 cents a gallon, it was a lot of money.
Right, because you only made probably $20 a week for a paycheck.
If you made that.
Yeah. So, because I know the women that worked in the Auburn Cord factory, they worked for 53 cents an hour, doing the upholstery up for these cars.
Now that was out in Indiana, correct?
In Auburn, Indiana, these cars were made. Yeah. And this car has been back to Indiana twice since it's been done. And it's received many awards out there. And I have 3 best of shows with this car in Auburn, Indiana.
Herb, did you do the restoration on this? What's the history behind this car?
Yes, I did everything on this car
Did you?
except the upholstery and the motor.
What kind of condition was it in when you found it?
It was poor.
It was?
Yes.
And how long ago was that?
I bought this car in '83. I've done about 6 of these cars. This isn't the only one I did, but
How long did it take you to do the restoration?
probably 3 years.
Was it difficult finding parts?
Yeah, that's the most difficult, is trying to find parts.
Right.
You actually end up buying 3 or 4 parts of each,
Right.
you know, to find one good one out of the bunch.
Sure,
Because
sure.
when you see a part, you better buy it, because if you don't, you might not never find
Right.
another part. So
Right.
so you have to gamble on, you know, finding the right part. the
Herb,
right-
what kind of options do they have in these cars?
Well, this car here has a full-down windshield. You know, the convertible top
Right.
does go back. They have a vent on the cowl which opens up to let air in the car. You know, it's got high and low beams on it. No seat belts.
Now this is what, 3-speed?
Yeah, this is a 3-speed with a 2-speed rear end. It has a high range and a low range
Right.
rear end. Because when these cars were new, the roads were all dirt.
Oh, sure.
There was only a few highways back
right.
then, so
That's right.
you needed low,
you need some
low, low
That's right.
low range to get up the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these cars have a long stroke in the engine, you know. So
This is obviously an original color.
yes.
Do they have a name for this color?
Yeah, this is what they call Palm Beach Tan, which was the
Oh,
original color.
okay.
And
Typical Florida car.
yes, yeah, it was a spring color back,
Right.
you know, for the car.
Well,
Most
this
of
is
them were.
what the movie stars owned.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Clark Gable and
Yeah.
all those guys,
Yeah.
they bought cars from the Auburn Motor
Yeah,
Company.
they certainly did.
Yeah, which was the Duesenberg and the Accord.
Yeah.
Tom Mix got killed in the Accord.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Yeah, and you know,
For those viewers that don't know, Tom Mix was one of the most renowned cowboys.
cowboy back in the 30s.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And he owned a Accord. I think it was a Sportsman.
Little bit of trivia. Tom Mix was at he was a pallbearer at Wyatt Earp's wake.
Was he? I didn't know that. But I know he hit he was going down the road very fast, and he hit a bridge abutment
Yeah.
with the cord, and that's when he got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Now you got a rumble seat in this. It's got all the
Yes.
comforts of home.
Yep. Yeah, that's for the kids in the back or
Yeah.
grown-ups, whatever. So you can carry 4 people in this car. And if it didn't have the rumble seat, you could only carry 2.
That's true. That's right.
Yeah. So this is,
you know what? This is really, it's just a beautiful car. I really, truly hope that my camera does it justice, because
Yeah.
it is gorgeous, and you've done some job on this.
yes.
Have you other cars in your collection?
Yes, I have a street rod.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I have a '65 Mustang convertible.
So you're pretty well rounded. You're very diverse.
I've had a few other ones that I've sold through the years, and,
Very good.
but I enjoy them. I have a lot of fun with them.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Where in Connecticut are you located?
I live in Cromwell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's close
yeah,
by.
just south of Hartford here.
Yeah, sure. It's close by. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
so we take it to a lot of shows.
How many of these are in existence?
Well, this particular model, this is the only one like this in the state of Connecticut.
Is that a fact?
Yes, with the twin side mounts. There's other cabriolets, but you know, they got supercharged or they're non-supercharged or they're a 6-cylinder, but this is the only 8 twin side mount that I know of in Connecticut.
Yeah, I think most people are familiar with the Auburn Speedster, the Boattail,
Yes.
you know, that was supercharged.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
But this, and as a matter of fact, I've seen pictures of this, and I have pictures of this model at home. But this is the first to see one, you know, out and be up close and personal, so to speak. You know.
Yeah, they
Really
were
nice.
they were a work of art back in the 30s. That's
they
why
certainly
you know I loved it when I seen it, and I had to have one.
Wow.
So it's.
You know what? It's a pleasure to have you on camera. And it's a pleasure to be able to see this car and have the viewers see a part of what I consider American history.
Yes, yeah. You know, it's good to have the young people come and look at these old cars.
That's for sure.
Because, you know, in a few years now, it's a different generation. Today, everybody's interested in muscle cars.
That's right.
And these are, you know, in a few years, they're going to be on the wayside. And nobody's
Right.
going to want them. And
Right. And it's
so
a shame.
It is. I mean, there's still a lot of older people, you know, my age, and some of the younger ones that belong with the club. Well, I'm getting up there.
You're just about retired, right?
No, I am retired. But it's...
Well, you know what? It's great that there's people out there like yourselves that take the initiative to find these cars, restore them, and keep them intact and preserved. So my biggest statement is they are a part of American history.
That's right. You have to restore them, not junk them.
That's right.
You have to get them out and get them fixed.
That's for sure.
But
Herb, it's been a pleasure. I can't, you know, I can't tell you how much I enjoy seeing this car and speaking to you, because it brings back some memories of what my father had told me in the past, and like I said, pictures that I've seen. So,
you know, if you don't let people know what was out there, they'll never know.
That's
so
right. This is why I do the show, to try and give them a little view, a little insight of you know what it was.
And this car right here is a part of history. So
that it is. That it is.
They ended in 1936. So, you know, a lot of people come by, they don't even know what this car is.
Unfortunately, I know, you're right. But you know what? At least we'll get to a few thousand of the viewing audience that I have, and they'll be able to see it and get a little education. You know, as
I
well.
hope they appreciate it.
Herb, thank you so much.
Okay, very good.
All right. Pleasure.
And thank you
Good
for
luck.
the interview.
Enjoy the show, and you know, we'll hopefully see you on the road somewhere.
Saturday night party here at the Marratta Auto and Cycle Show. Greg Zipadelli and the drivers are in the house. Sign autographs for you. Say hey.